All right, on the line with us, we have Lauren Fix. She is the car coach. Hey, Lauren, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us this morning. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me on.
Good. Hey, how long have you been the car coach?
I've been the car coach for almost 30 years. It's been a while.
Well, I saw you on Fox a couple of weeks ago doing the morning show.
Yes.
I was like, so that's the interview.
Yeah. I love to talk about cars. I love to help people get in the right vehicles and make good decisions. I think it's one of the few industries where people just need guidance and advice because you don't look for it until you're looking for a car for your new driver, you're looking for a car for yourself. And there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of websites, and it gets very confusing. So if I can guide you down the right path so you don't have that smoke and mirrors and you feel empowered, then everybody's happy.
Okay, second question. Mm-hmm. Is Fix really your real name?
Yes, my husband is Paul Fix. He's a professional race car driver, and I married the right guy 26 years ago.
Oh, nice. Okay, today we're talking about, selecting a car based on safety principles for, I guess, young people, teenagers. Right. But that also applies to the rest of us, too. But do you have some suggestions and, as far as procedure and stuff like that? I mean, what are the hoops we got to jump through?
Well, I think it's interesting when you have a new driver, and that may not necessarily be a 16 to 19-year-old, although that's really the core area we're talking about today. I think the natural reaction for a parent is, we'll get them some big, old, gigantic truck with all this power and they'll be fine. But really, that's not the best choice. You really want to look for vehicles that are mid-size, that have moderate power, good fuel efficiency, and the key thing is safety ratings. And I think people forget about that. They hear about safety ratings when IIHS puts them out, but then you forget about them when you go to look for a car. So USAA went to a list of their members and looked at the cars that teens are driving, being 16 to 19. Because the fatality rate is so high, it's 3 times higher in that range, we wanted to do a study to sort of see what vehicles made sense. So when you think of what's on the road and what teens are driving, like a Honda Civic or a Ford Focus or a Toyota Corolla or a Nissan Altima or a Chevy Cruze, there's a whole bunch of them, there's 10 of them that we found. One of the interesting things was the commonality of all of them was high safety ratings, good fuel efficiency, low insurance costs. I mean, those are all things that you want your kids to. You don't want your kids to be in a station wagon because then they're going to have 30 friends with them. And
well, you know what? That's what we want too.
Yeah, that's what I want anyhow. I mean, there are lots of options out there. I think the key thing is to do your homework, and that's true anytime you're looking to buy anything. If you were going to buy a refrigerator, you would get online and do your homework. But when it comes to cars, people forget about that, and they're confused. There's so many websites, and they're now all advertising. It's like, what do I do? So USAA has put together a really nice site. You go on USAA.com and you search for teens, and you'll get all kinds of information. You'll get insurance information. You'll get data on the cars. You'll get, of course, great rates for financing as well as insurance. But there's also information that they have this young drivers tool where you can actually monitor your kids driving, and it opens up doors for conversation. And so these are some of the things that you can get all under one website. And I think timing is everything. I mean, when you're looking to buy a car, don't ever skimp on safety. And that's true for anybody because you can always add that, satellite radio.
Right.
But, hey, then I can't listen to you. If I want to listen to AM radio, how am I going to listen to you guys? It's, Tom and Laura, that's my morning listen to on the way to work.
Hey, now, here's what I want to ask. And it's one of those things where I've been in a car buying situation before. And I'm 53, so, I had the opportunity to kind of be introduced to airbags, as they came in and all these new safety features. Mm-hmm. The thing is you look at the model, and they always start kind of at the moderately appointed, version of a vehicle.
Right.
And then they start in on the safety stuff, anti-skid and all
the control and sector control,
curtain airbags and side airbags and, all this other stuff. And it's just like, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Is there something that is middle of the road that has fantastic safety rating that's going to be at a moderate price point that people could get into and have the best of both worlds?
Yeah, there actually are vehicles that fit that. And again, each vehicle is a personal choice. And again, it has to do with seating comfort and visibility are two priorities, especially for a new driver because, we tend to adjust the seat and kind of get used to it. For a new driver, visibility is critical, but for when you're putting someone in a car, You might say, well, I don't need lane change departure and blind spot detection. I'm really aware of my mirrors. A new driver's got a lot going through their head. So this is where it makes sense. And this is the trend, by the way, is to put the teen in the new vehicle and let the parent keep the vehicle they're comfortable with. And that way you're giving them the best of safety, because you can pick and choose packages depending on which vehicle you buy. Every manufacturer has a different mix of packages. But when it comes to safety, never skimp on safety. Forget the cool wheels and the extra sunroof, and you can always do that kind of stuff later. What's most important is lane change departure, backup cameras, active cruise control, all these safety features. I was just test driving some new trucks, and they have knee bags, airbags now. So if you do have an accident, obviously the front of the vehicle is going to try to come into where you're sitting. But if you can protect your knees, that's really important too. So side airbags, knee airbags, all these things are fantastic. So more safety is better, and everything else you can, like I said, you can add it later.
Okay, now I know seating and visibility and seating comfort and visibility are top priorities here.
Yes.
And safety. But is there any one car that kind of across the board kind of sticks out, as being a fantastic deal and a super safe car?
Well, it depends if you're buying or leasing, and it depends on the price point. I mean, if you said, I'm going to buy the car, a Hyundai Elantra is a great choice. You can't go wrong. It's one of the vehicles on our top 10 list of people that own these vehicles. So, I mean, if you're putting a teen or a new driver, even yourself, that's a great choice. The VW Jetta, another good vehicle. So, again, a Honda Accord. But you're looking at all the vehicles you would expect, the Mazda 3, the Chevy Cruze. I mean, even the Ford Mustang, if you get the 2.3-liter EcoBoost, you can still have a cool-looking car with all the safety features. And you don't have to have the GT and the convertible. You're looking at vehicles that make sense, that are all moderately priced, that are reasonable to insure. And I always tell people, before you make a final decision, call your insurance agent and say, hey, what's that going to cost me? The more safety features you have, the less your insurance is going to be. So when you're comparing vehicle to vehicle to make a final decision, that's a huge factor. And I think people forget about that, and they think, ooh, it's a $50 extra, per year, per month, is a huge impact.
Right. Yeah, my insurance guy here in town I've had for I think 14, 15 years, Jason Grisham. He's a State Farm guy. But they're always sending out stuff and notifications on these things on ways you can save money. And I think a lot of people, Lauren, just kind of put those in the round file because they don't want to take the time to read it. But if you actually stop and take the time to read it, it could do a body good.
Yeah, well, I always say you can save a little bit here and then a little bit, then you have extra money to buy something else that you really need or want. But when it comes to vehicles, it's always get what you need. The want stuff is great. It's just like watching QVC. Yeah, I'd like to have everything there, but those are things you want, not things you need. What you need is a safe vehicle because you're using that every day as transportation to get your kids to school, to get yourself to wherever you need to be. And whether you're an older driver or a younger driver, the key thing is safety. And with today's cars, people tend to get a little bit overconfident, and so that's why you need to have the safest vehicle on the road. And there are lots of vehicles on that list, but again, use the IIHS crash test ratings as a top safety pick and a top safety pick plus. So when you start making decisions, it doesn't have to be a big SUV. It can be a mid-sized sedan.
All right. Hey, Lauren, thanks for ringing us up this morning and sharing the information. Appreciate that.
Glad to inform people and educate them.
Okay, that's Lauren Fix, car coach for 30 years, old enough to know better, young enough to do it again. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.